Well, hello guys. Here we go. Humidity and incubation. Now, I'm going to talk in Fahrenheit. That's the only one I really understand better. Your humidity readings. Your Fahrenheit reading is like about 99.5 in a forced air incubator. Your humidity, let's say you're setting it at what they say to set it at. 55% or 50 to 55 to 60, whatever it says, you set it, okay? And then you don't do anything and you expect on hatching day to have the results you're supposed to get. Well, it's a mechanical device. You have to work with it. You have to understand the egg and the embryo. By the way, it's not a fetus. Oh, jeez. Okay. You start your eggs first day, okay? I generally candle everything. I make sure I candle for the reason to find cracks in the shell. I find a reason to see where the air cell is to make sure it's decent. I look on the interior as well as the exterior, and those are the eggs that go into the incubator. Some people will you can actually weigh the eggs and mark it on there. If you weigh the eggs, it has to lose about 12% by the time it gets to the hatcher. Okay? They do that more in parrot eggs than they do in duck eggs. Now here, if your humidity is set at whatever the reading is, it's not fixed in stone. You may have to adjust it. This is your barometer, the egg itself, what it's doing to the air cell. I sent this information to him in December, and when he wasn't doing it, I resent it to him in his email, and he's still not doing it. In fact, he hasn't candled his first year, and he candled the second year. The first time he's candling it from the ass end. Oh, wow. Okay, well, enough about that. We're going to show you how to do it, because you're not going to learn from his channel. It's not a learning channel, obviously. He doesn't even have a learning curve that I can see it's happening anywhere. Okay, you've got your eggs in the incubator. The air cell has to increase in size. It has to reach it. On the 7th day, it should be about here. 7 days isn't very long in the incubator. Now, if it's not and it's up here, then you have to readjust your setting so it drops down to here. By the next time you check, it's got to get down here. It may be set at 55%, but now you might have to drop it to 45 or something like that. Whatever the number is, I'm telling you, it's not fixed in stone the same way your temperature is at 95.5. That is how you do humidity correctly. By the 18th day, this is a chicken egg. It's all the same. It all is about the same with every egg, including a Muscovy, but this will be down here at 30-some days. We'll get into that a little bit. At 7 days you're here, it's fine. At 14 days here, you're good. If you're here and you're looking at all your eggs and they're like that, you're ideal. Now you're ready to go to the hatcher. If you're still up here, you're in trouble. There's not much you can do about it. Plus the humidity in your hatcher is going to be higher and you're not going to be losing any. It has to lose 12%. What you do is you mark them with a pencil. Not everyone, you don't have to, but get them all consistent. And this is where the embryo lives at the last, this prior to hatching. It is in this area. It is not in the area all the way up here yet. It pips right here. It breaks through this membrane. It pips an X somewhere along here. Then it will be breathing air for the 24 hours while it absorbs its yolk and its blood vessels shut down. And the next day or 20-some hours, whatever it is, whenever it takes, it starts to turn and pip along this line. But it breaks through this entire membrane first, and the whole body and pretty much a lot of it is up in here now. But its head and its beak is located at that line because it could not live anywhere else at the time. It was kept down here. So it has to, when it starts to hatch, it isn't moving, it's going along here. And if you notice the diameter across this area is quite large. It's like a large door, and it opens up, flips out, and here he comes. Now, if your bird is pipping up here, it's in too much water. It didn't lose moisture. It can pip for a while. It is getting all gummed up with extra albumin, and it is going to get stuck or even drown in its own fluid. Then you're on your way to start chipping away, trying to help the thing. Along you go, along you go. Put it back, spray it, the long you go, the long you go. You do it every couple hours, it drives you crazy, because you're not supposed to be going through that. If a hatching company was going through this, and they had to send birds out on a certain date, which was all scheduled according to doing everything right, do you think they could hire people to actually do this type of thing? Do you think that they would? No. It'd be too expensive to even bother with. And you can see the results of what happens when they're not correctly humidified. You get hatches that are not consistent. They'll start hatching on one day and still be hatching a couple of days later or a day later. They all hatch on the hatching date. All of them. And this has to be this way. I got the same thing over here. This is, what do you call it, duck egg numbers. I just changed the numbers because to give you an understanding that this is not the 7th day, this is the 9th day. You're working at this. Here's the 18th day. So you're losing a little bit less at a lesser rate, so that's why your humidity is slightly higher than the chicken. That's all. It isn't much. Then at 24 to 26 days, instead of 21, you're down to here. Now, like I'm saying, you have to watch this. This is your gauge. This tells you what's going on. Alright? We got a lot of that out of the way now. I'm not bashing the guy, but he has no learning curve. And I've tried working with him, but I don't know. I mean, it's not registering or something. The purpose of my videos and the ones I will be making in the future will be for you guys that want to do it correctly. You guys don't want to go through all this. You don't want your deformed babies. And one of his I did see was hatching. I think it was a goose. When you do get them, sometimes you can see that the head looks fat or mushy, like it's got too much moisture in it. It hasn't. There are lots of videos. I may convert some. I don't have all my equipment. I work a lot of hours right now. I'm still hatching eggs, not as many as I used to before, but I don't have any of these problems. And I'm working 8 to 10 hours a day. I come and check my incubators. Everything is perfect. I candle. I don't spend 5 hours in there trying to wake up embryos either. It's ridiculous. I don't know where he's getting his information or what. I think it's mostly from his imagination or something. Anyways, I'm not bashing it, but the fact is, if you want to learn something, you might as well learn the right way first. Why go through all of this? Otherwise, you're going to be in a struggle. You're going to have different sized babies at different rates of hatch. Whatever else goes on, I don't know. And you're going to have deformities and cripples, and you're going to have birds you're going to have to call out, and you shouldn't. Like I'm saying, when you get birds from a hatchery, they're all very consistent. If you're doing this correctly, your humidity, along with your temperature, you should be just fine. At least if you haven't you won't maybe get 100%, but at least you're going to get a higher percent than you've been getting. This will give it to you. Alright, that's enough for now. I just had to get one out here because I don't have all my equipment to do it, and I'm not bringing in my eggs from mine and bringing in a transfer incubator over to here, my office. I do have a set of eggs. I think there are 25 that are due to hatch Monday or Tuesday. I'm not going to show the hatching process. I will show them as soon as they're fluffed up and dry. Because my information is to get a completely clear understanding of how to approach incubation if you guys decide to do it regardless of your incubators. I won't get into great details. If any of you got questions or subject that you want to specifically talk about, I can probably do a video. If I can't, I will, you know, text you, email, whatever way it needs to be contacted. Usually I have more time to do that than the video thing. But we'll see. Again, we can go into the Muscovy thing too. That's not easy. I mean, that's not hard as people make it out to be. I mentioned to Matt, you know, get out there and candle those eggs. And then he would see this air cell progression and then compare it to the ones he's got in the incubator, and he would notice this difference. He should, probably not. The way he candles, though, I mean, he candles quick. That one time he finally, I thought he had it down, but does he continue to candle on a regular date and see if this progresses? You have to do that. That is how you do humidity. Okay? We'll see you guys again later.